Welcome to Z's and Threes.
For three for the win. Yes!
And welcome to all of our new subscribers. The goal was to get over 100 before the end of the regular season. We have surpassed that and then some at nearly 200 at the time of recording this. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all. If you're watching the daily recap for the first time, if the Signature Sneaker Showdown is what brought you, this is how we get down all the latest scores, stories, news, and notes. Fast break style, under 30 minutes, everything that you need to know as we gear up for the playoffs. Working on episode 3, the third matchup of the Signature Sneaker Showdown coming your way. What a night tonight was in the NBA. 10 games, including one of the most anticipated across this NBA season since the trade deadline, and that is the return of Luka Doncic to Dallas to take on his former team. A tear-filled but bucket-filled night for Luka Doncic. Also, huge games across the West. We update the standings, the playoff pictures, all that to get to and more. We appreciate y'all being here. If you're not subscribed, please do. Let's get you up to date. Group chat game of the night. So this is how we do it. Group chat game of the night is the best game from the evening. Then we go through all the other games. Then I update the standings. Then we get into news and notes if there's a day full of them. But because we are gearing up for the playoffs, we focus on the main course in the NBA right now, and that is the West race. This group chat game of the night had implications for such: the LA Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. A night full of emotion. Luka brought to tears, a grown man. And if you were watching and not brought to tears, man, to see Luka grow up through those images, it was a relationship that was torn apart. Luka looked like he would be a lifelong Mav. Shout out to the Mavs for putting together a beautiful piece that brought Luka to tears in their pregame tribute video, and it fired Luka up. He said in the postgame he didn't know if he was going to be able to play after watching that with the emotion, but he came out gunning and had a great game. 14 points in the first quarter, 17 in the second quarter. Lakers take a 4-point lead to half. They build it to 13. Mavs, though, fight back. 22-7 run of their own to go up early in the third and take a lead into the fourth, but the Lakers clap back. 25-9 run to go up 10 with under 5 minutes left in regulation. And as it should be, poetically, this game was all about Luka Doncic. The man drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, traded to the Dallas Mavericks, who took them to the precipice of an NBA title last year, but then traded away so unexpectedly, returns to the house that he played in, the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals on 16 of 28 shooting, 7 of 10 from 3. More importantly, the Lakers get a 112-97 win, LeBron chipping in 27-7 and 3. The Lakers needing just one more to clinch the 3 seed in the West. Their magic number is 1. Their last 2 against Houston, a team we will get to in a little bit, and at Portland. Anthony Davis, not an afterthought in this. That was the piece in the trade that Nico Harrison, Mavs GM, who continued to hear it all night, thought was going to elevate them. How things have changed for the Mavs. The injury to Kyrie Irving. Quiet night for Anthony Davis. 13 points, 5 of 13 shooting, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. The Mavs fans, I'm sorry, they continue to lament on what could have been as they work through their stages of grief. I'm not sure what stage of grief you are on after watching that game tonight, but emotional to see Luka Doncic not only go back to Dallas, but do what he did in Dallas time in and time out. So the Lakers, though, get an important win. We will update that in standings when we get to there. 9 more games to go for Wednesday night's slate. Okay, that West race behind the Lakers, 3 through 8, 5 teams entering the night, all with the same record, 47-32. 3 of those teams were in action. So we're going to unjam that dam, the log jam in the Western Conference. Start with Denver Nuggets, Sacramento Kings. Nuggets, wow. What a sequence of 48 hours it has been for the champions 2 years ago. a tectonic change. They fire Michael Malone, their head coach of the last 10 years, the third longest tenured coach in the NBA behind Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr. The only coach that has taken them to and won a title. The only coach that Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray have played under and come of age winning their title. David Adelman named the interim head coach. And interestingly enough, returning to the spot where his dad coached for 8 years, the longest in his NBA coaching tenure, Rick Adelman. Very much still a ton to play for these Denver Nuggets. They are in control of their own fate, at least for the 4 seed in the West, which would leave them hosting a playoff series to begin. Sacramento, with the Dallas loss, had a chance to secure the 9 seed to host the play-in game, 9-10, between potentially Dallas and Sacramento. Do the Nuggets get the new coach bounce? The Kings, if you remember, they fired their head coach Mike Brown into the season. It has been a season of tectonic changes for the Kings as well. Firing Mike Brown, trading De'Aaron Fox, their franchise player, trading for Zach LaVine. So, could the Kings spoil for Denver what the Kings got when they promoted Doug Christie, that new coach bounce? A new voice in the locker room. David Adelman, the interim title, but he has been given a chance, if you listen to Nuggets Governor Josh Kroenke, to potentially win this job. If you think back to the last offseason, before the Lakers hired J.J. Redick, they interviewed David Adelman. Can you count out a team with Nikola Jokic? Well, we would find out tonight moving forward. The Nuggets led by 8 at the half, 16 in the third, but the Kings, a.k.a. the Bulls West, their 1-2 punch, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan get going. LaVine hits a 3 that cuts the deficit to 4 with 4:05 left, but the Nuggets swing back, closing on a 12-4 run to secure a much-needed win for them, 124-116. Still no Jamal Murray for the Nuggets, sitting out his 6th consecutive game. Michael Malone, before being dismissed, had said he was hoping to get Jamal Murray back. We know what Jamal Murray can do in the playoffs. Will we see him again, though, this season? Remains to be seen. David Adelman makes a big difference. He starts second-year point guard Jalen Pickett over the recently plenty talked about, even if he won't talk back to the media, Russell Westbrook. Jalen Pickett, drafted by Calvin Booth. The insistence, that's what I'm looking for. The insistence that Calvin Booth wanted young players played and developed, and Michael Malone wanting veterans such as Russell Westbrook. If you think back to last week, Tuesday night, the double overtime thriller against the Wolves that ended with Russell Westbrook missing a layup, fouling Jaden McDaniels for a 3 that Denver lost. If that sequence doesn't happen, does Michael Malone and Calvin Booth both still have jobs? We will never know. Jalen Pickett gets the start, delivers with a career-best 18 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. Russell Westbrook plays his least amount of minutes going back to December. Another triple-double from Nikola Jokic, 2012 and 11, who said in a post-game interview that the shakeup has awoken the beast. That's about as spicy of talk as you will get out of the Serbian 3-time MVP. Nuggets snap their 4-game slide. They calm the seas for now and secure a huge win in the West race. What would that do to shape the picture? Well, the San Antonio Spurs in Golden State to take on the Warriors just down the road in California. Warriors looking to handle their business against the Spurs. Spurs already out of it, playing for next year. Wembanyama shut down. Rookie of the year, though, was Steph Castle potentially. And it looked like the Warriors would handle their business. Multiple double-digit leads, the largest of 14 in the third quarter. This is the sound for a wild lead swing alert. It has to be over 15, and the lead has to swing to do such, so not quite there, but you will hear it later tonight. 14-point lead in the third quarter for the Warriors. Spurs, they keep bucking. They go on a 22-9 run to start the fourth, brings them back in it. Let's fast forward to 111 all. Because how about this for sports poetry? Steph Castle inbounds the ball to Harrison Barnes. Jimmy Butler is smothering him defensively. Barnes rises up for the 3. And if you think back, it was Harrison Barnes, the man that was drafted out of North Carolina to play for the Golden State Warriors. Man that won a title with the Golden State Warriors, but who struggles from 3 in that series 3-1 comeback by the Cavs became the impetus of Kevin Durant ending up in Golden State. How different would NBA history be had he hit just a couple more threes? He was 9 of 29, 31% across that 2016 finals. So Barnes is thinking of all of that as he is midair. Sweet revenge, a game winner. 20 points on the evening, 6 for 9 from 3 for Barnes, and his team knocks off the Warriors and hands them a disastrous loss. And I will tell you why in a second, because the Clippers were in action hosting the Rockets. This was a game that I talked about earlier in the week as one to watch, as the Rockets were battling for the 2 seed. Well, they handled their business earlier in the week, so having already secured such, they chose to rest their starters, all their regulars, starting wise tonight. Clippers, not the case. They needed this one, and they get it, 134-117. Big night from James Harden. It's the shoes. James Harden 9s, they are back there. Great court shoes if you watch the Signature Sneaker Showdown. I told you, those are good shoes, but they got upset by the LaMelo balls. Yeah, you'll have to watch and wait to see how the bracket evolves. 35 points, 10 assists, a double-double from James Harden. 22, 10, 4 assists, 3 steals from Kawhi Leonard. What are we going to get from Kawhi come playoffs? You want to talk about a dangerous beast? Well, Kawhi Leonard, he's done it repeatedly, 2 times final MVP. 20, 11, and 10, triple-double from Ivica Zubac. What a season he is having. If there was an All-NBA 4th team, I'd put him on it. He may make All-NBA 3rd team. He's the NBA's leading rebounder, told you last night. All right, we usually wait to get the standings after all the games, but let's talk what those 3 results, a Denver win, a Warriors loss, Clippers win, do for the West standings race. The Lakers win as well. Lakers magic number, as mentioned, it is 1. If they win Friday night hosting Houston or against Portland, in Portland on Sunday, they are locked in to the 3. They would have to lose both, with either of the Nuggets and the Clippers finishing at 50 wins to jump in front. The Nuggets and the Clippers win moves them both to 48 and 32. The head-to-head series is split 2 apiece. So the next in a 2-way tiebreak, being that neither is leading their division, the Thunder leading the Northwest Division, the Lakers leading the Pacific, you go to conference record, of which Denver has an advantage of 3 games. So if these 2 finished with the same record, the first round series, 4 against 5, Nuggets against Clippers, would start in Denver. Disastrous night for the Warriors. Their loss drops them to 7th in the West, out of the guaranteed playoff spots and back into the play-in. The West margins are razor thin. Love it. Boston, Orlando, nothing at stake for the Celtics, so they trot out their C squad, not even the B squad. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, Torrey Craig, and Shireman. I can't even think of his first name off the top of my head. Why am I blanking? Baylor Shireman. There's your starting 5 for the defending champs. They try the same approach that the Celtics do, so at least they stay consistent. They shoot the 3, but not to the same result as the starting 5. They go 7 for 4. They shoot 39% for the game, only score 76 points. The Magic do play their A group because they had something at stake. They win because they score more than 76. They score 96, led by Franz Wagner's 23. How about this for the Magic? They clinched the Southeast Division with their record currently at 40-40. They also secure the 7 seed, which means that they will host that first 7-8 play-in game with the opportunity to win and potentially play Orlando against Boston. First round series in the East. I like that matchup. I just think it would be entertaining. Let's get to the handle your business games. Oklahoma City against the Phoenix Suns. The Suns were the team in this matchup that needed to handle their business. The Thunder, they've already, after tonight, secured at least a split, there you go, of the best record in the league. Suns needed this to stay alive, their slim play-in chances. Oklahoma City did not play SGA. He was resting. The starters for the Thunder, Caruso, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, Aaron Wiggins, and Isaiah Joe. Phoenix, they get off to a great start, 15-point lead over halfway through the second quarter. and it all fell apart from there, just like their season. Oklahoma City outscores them 43-26 in the third. That is a wild lead swing alert. J-Dub has 13 in that quarter. In those clean hardens, he continues to wear. Holmgren with 10. Nearly as many points, those two combined, as the Suns 23-26. The Thunder lead goes to 20. The game finishes at 125-112. Win number 66 on the season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Suns playing chances, they are extinguished. Vegas, the over-under preseason for the Phoenix Suns, 47.5. They are not going to get there. The Phoenix Suns currently sit at a disappointing 35-45, 10 games under 500. Kevin Durant's injury. Remember the start of the season when Kevin Durant was playing like an MVP? Then he got hurt. Really derailed the Suns' season. Biggest disappointment in the West are the Phoenix Suns. I wouldn't say in the league. I think that's the Sixers. I'll put together a list. Biggest disappointments of the season. Try to not stay too negative in this space, but disappointing season for the Suns nonetheless. Massive luxury tax bill, and Bradley Beal dug in saying, "You're not going to trade me." And they can't because he has a no-trade clause. 8 straight losses for Phoenix. Mavs, they clinch a play-in spot with the Suns' loss. Way to back your way in, Mavs. Let's talk the play-in posse in the East. Miami, Chicago, Heat chasing the Bulls for a chance to host that play-in game. The 9-10, remember, if you lose that matchup, you are done. If you win that, you have to play the loser of the 7-8. Full game swing for these two with the head-to-head. Bulls keep them at bay, 119-111 the win. They run to a tune of 24 fast break points to the Bulls. Their 5 starters all score 17 or more. Josh Giddey leading the charge, another triple-double, 28 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists. And how about this for the epitome of 2025 NBA? Tyler Hero steals the ball with his team down 5. There's 35 some odd seconds left in the game. He has a wide open hoop to go in and take the 2 to cut it to 3. Dunk the ball to cut it to 3. Pulls up for the 3 and misses. There it is. NBA in 2025. Chicago win keeps them a game ahead of Miami and now just a half game behind Atlanta with the potential to jump into the 7-8 matchup. That one is important because it is a 1-game path to the playoffs instead of 2. Bulls playing some decent ball. Let's talk lottery land. Philadelphia, Washington, Sixers, Wizards. The Sixers win 122-103. And I would usually just tell you the score, but there were 30 points from Jeff Doughton Jr. I cover the G League. I call games in the G League. I cover the NBA in doing this show. I had never heard the name of Jeff Doughton Jr., who's been up and down from the G League to the NBA over the last 4 years. But how about the night for Doughton Jr.? He scores 30 points, a career high. The game's in D.C. He grew up just outside of D.C., and his team gets the dub. Cool night for Jeff. Charlotte in Toronto, the Raptors win 126-96. The quality play of Jonathan Mogbo continues. He had a triple-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. We need a season that isn't 82 games. There's your NBA ASMR. We need a better structure because teams were punting a month ago. Portland, Utah. This one was interesting, and we're going to spend way too much time on it. Blazers up 1. Shaedon Sharpe had a great night, scored 37 points, but he needed a couple more because he was at the line with 13.1 left, a chance to put his team up 3, missed both. The Jazz go air ball. Jabari Walker gets fouled, makes 1 of 2. So only up 2. The Jazz possession, 6.4 seconds left in regulation. Kyle Filipowski is working on the left elbow. He spins to drive the lane, dunks the ball to tie the game. Blazers, they get a great look on a post-up seal from Toumani Camara, who cannot convert what would have been a game-winning layup. To overtime we go. We've spent entirely too much time on this game. Utah wins the extra period 19-12 in the game. They score 19 points in overtime. How about that? Very impressive. Let's update the standings outside of what we've already talked about. We know the 10 teams now that will have a chance to win the Western Conference. We've known the 10 teams out of the East for quite a while, so our quest for a title, it is now from 30 teams down to 20. Sorry, Wizards, Jazz, Pelicans, Sixers, all the other teams that have been eliminated. Better luck next year. The Thunder, they are in the driver's seat for the league's best record. The best the Cavs can do is equal the 66 wins of the Thunder. I am not sure what the home court tiebreak would be were that to happen and they were to meet in the finals. I will research it. I'll put the research team. Hey, guys, get on that. I am the research team, so I'll get on it later. We already broke down the West. Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers, the big winners of the night, all winning games, all improving their positions. The Grizzlies and the Wolves are idle, and that is a good thing because their game, Thursday night, national game on TNT, has play out of the play-in potential. So you're going to want to watch that one Thursday. Kings and Mavs, that is now locked in. They will play each other in the play-in. The only thing left to be determined is where. Will the game be at Golden One in Sacramento, or will Dallas host it for the right to then play the loser of the 7-8? In the East, the Magic, as mentioned, clinched the 7 spot, hosting with a chance to win and play the defending champs. Winner of that 7-8 secures the 7 seed, plays the 2. Boston locked into the 2. 8, 9, 10 in the East. It's as messy as the West, albeit stakes not as high. The Hawks are up a half game on the Bulls, who are up a full game on the Heat after their win tonight because Tyler Hero didn't want to go dunk the ball. Would have taken a little bit more than that. Chicago, they closed their season with games against Washington and Philadelphia. Miami with the Pelicans and Washington. Oh, to play in the Eastern Conference. Heavy Pour, leading scorer of the night, brought to you by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. Order you some water. They'll ship it to you. And it was Luka Doncic that led the league with his 45 points across the 10 games, 20 teams. Dunk of the night, Neemias Queta of the Boston Celtics. His team might have gotten dunked on, but he dunked all over the Orlando Magic's Wendell Carter Jr. Performance of the night presented by Contract Year. Play in your contract year. No question on this one. Playing through the emotion, playing through the tears, a game that everybody was anticipating. Luka Doncic not only delivers, but delivers so emphatically. Wow, he really twists the knife on the Dallas Mavs as the fans cheered him on to his 45-point performance of the night, presented by Contract Year. That's it. What a night Wednesday. What a return for Luka to Dallas. And we have a further idea of what the West may look like. As mentioned, we're now down to 20 teams. We know of those 20, one of them will win the NBA title. What to watch Thursday? I told you, the game is Minnesota against the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, a team that had fired their coach not but weeks ago in Taylor Jenkins. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, coming off the worst blown lead in a fourth quarter in NBA history. They were up 24 on Tuesday night against the Milwaukee Bucks. That game, essentially play out of the play-in implications. New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, that may be a first-round preview. Pistons still have a chance to improve their position in the East. If you miss anything, as always, Z's and Threes, we got you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace.